Hi all, I hope you are all well. So, about me, my name is Anita Ishwaran. So, I have got 17 plus of years of experience in Dynamics 365. It's like I started my career when AX was in 3.0 version where you have a blue screen. So, and then you enter the login. So, it's so good to see how AX has evolved during these years as a FO. So, having said that, I not only focus on the technical aspects, I work on integration as well, plus other Azure technologies. So, I am a senior digital architect with Sonata Software Europe Limited. So, it is a gold partner of Microsoft Dynamics. I am from India, currently residing in UK, and I am the author of the blog anitasantosh.wordpress.com, which is given here. So it not only covers AX aspects, it has various topics like SSRS, CQL, Azure related, Power Automate, Logic Apps. So various topics have been covered in my blog. So do visit when you get time. And hobbies, reading books, as usual, writing blog posts, and I prefer short travel rather than the lengthy ones. Over to my co-presenter.
Hey, hi all. Um, Hello everyone, wherever you are, whichever part of the world you are in. Myself, I am Santosh Ramamurthy, and I have close to 18 years of experience with the Dynamics products. So traditionally, we used to call that as a 3.0. Then we had a latest versions on 2009, 2012. Now that we have streamlined on the naming, we are working on a platform called as Dynamics 365, and under that there is a suite called as Dynamics 365 Finance is the technology which we work on. And I am currently working as a senior technical presets architect with KPMG UK. Similar to my spouse who is sitting on this call as well. We both are from India, but we currently work in UK. So that's fairly in terms of where we are. And I'm a Microsoft certified professional. Plus, I do also blog. So I'm a Microsoft certified blogger as well, but it's been a some time since I've last posted articles. But in terms of what exactly I do in terms of my day-to-day activities, where my hobbies are, I prefer most of the time sitting in front of the computer writing chunk of code. My obsession or possession is towards coding. So I'm kind of a hardcore developer, even though I'm having an 18 years of experience. I do a lot of client interaction in terms of gathering the business requirements as well. But if you see, my forefront is more in terms of building technology on the new stacks which are available from Microsoft. So that's the core area of interest. Along with that, I am a fanatic on the cricketing aspect as well. So I do watch cricket, I play cricket, and at times I've made also a point to play cricket with my sons. I've got twin boys, so most of the time I spend around playing cricket with them. That's about me. So now you can understand like how we have got into a similar call sitting next to each other, right? So we both are from the same technology, but
So
with
it's a kind of advantage where we can discuss our latest technologies, solutions, all this. It's just another advantage, added advantage to the family here.
yeah. So that's about me. Yeah. If we
Okay.
can just move on to the next slide.
Yes. So it's about the topic how we are going to integrate Logic apps with Microsoft Teams and the Chat GPT. So yes, Santosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So of late, right? So we have seen that there is a key buzz around the Microsoft stack, or in terms of the AI, right? So AI being the next big thing in terms of the computing world, right? So we've keep hearing about ChatGPT, uh, OpenAI, right? So these are the terminologies which we have which we heard about, right? So one of the common thing which we know is we had virtual chatbots or the AI chatbots, and the upgraded version of these chatbots are nothing but the Chat GPT, right? So what exactly this GPT points to? It's basically a generative pre-trained transformer. It's basically a platform or a technology which is more like a human like conversation. You can ask related to your day-to-day activities. You could ask
Anything
something to
about music
yeah.
or programming or daily news or the latest updates in the Microsoft world, whatnot.
Yeah, so we thought like this could be one of the starting technologies, right? We could, why can't we use this as a technology to try to work around a demo, right? So that's been one of the forefront platform which we are using for today's demo. Plus, we've also thought about how could we use the different stacks from Microsoft, the different offering which Microsoft provides. Example, like a Logic app. A Logic app is basically an integrating platform as a service technology, which is built on containerized runtime, right? So Logic app in itself has close to 300 plus connectors.
And new connectors keeps coming every time, right?
Yeah. So that is one of the things which we have seen. And with our, in terms of the our experience, right? So we have heavily used Logic App in terms of integrating with ERP applications. So we have connectors for Dynamics 365, we have connectors for Salesforce, we have connectors for SAPs, whatnot, right?
And one major advantage is you need not be a developer if you are using Logic apps. So it's like little to no code. So it makes any flexible for all the users here.
That's the other technology which we are using today. And then why not use the messaging platform, the cloud collaborative messaging platform which Microsoft provides. And that's been a preferred option more or less during the COVID era, right? It's taken over the other technologies like Slack or Google Meet, right? In terms of the way users have got into the Microsoft Teams. And one of the best places which we have seen this instant messaging service is not even in workflows, the workplaces. It's also used predominantly in schools and colleges, right?
Yeah, that too post during the COVID times. This has been predominantly used in schools, workplaces where the studies they don't get stopped. Like it is a continuation, right? So that with the MS teams, they will be able to communicate with the team. The teachers will be able to communicate with the students, upload the sessions for them. So it's a kind of we are living with it nowadays.
Yeah, so it's kind of a collaborative platform. So where you can share, you can discuss in terms of what is required more towards your workplace. You could also at times cheekily send emojis, right? In terms of if there is any funny thing which you wanted to share with the team or with your colleague or with your school friends, right? So these are the three core platforms which we are looking today, and we have built an use case typically to work on a demo, and that's where I'll hand it over to Anita, and she would be chiming in wherever required.
Okay, so this is how the integration works. So I have I have used few keywords from the MS Teams, the Microsoft Teams using a channel, and that would trigger the logic apps. So based on the input, whatever the user is giving, it would either enable or disable one of the logic apps because it's a day-to-day situation, right? When a developer is working for the logic during in the logic apps, it's often it happens that we forget to disable or enable the session. So in that case, I thought maybe just with the one click from the Teams, it will be easy for the user. He doesn't need to log on to the portal to disable it. So with one click from MS Teams, he will be able to get the job done. And also, so here another feature of pitching in the Chat GPT. So if the user is having any query in the team, so he can directly get it, and the Logic app would get the answer for you. So let us see how it is done. Over to the demo mode.
Yeah, before we switch on to the demo, right? So quickly, just to give where exactly this is heading is, as I've just told you, like Logic App is used for an automated business workflows, and we do repetitive actions with these workflows, typically in an integration scenario, right? Best use case is whenever we in a scenario where we wanted to have a downtime, we don't explicitly need to turn off the logic app, one of the other, right? So we have used the technology of Chat GPT and use the collaborative message service as well to integrate with logic app and see how best we could make use of these three technologies to achieve the desired result. This scenario is more in terms of the day-to-day activity in a developer life cycle.
Correct. Just to save the price of the execution, because there is no need for any empty runs, and that would add additional cost to the client, right? So in order to avoid such situations, this a single click would help us here. So let me focus on one particular workflow here. Let us assume. So you can leverage it to other workflows as well. So I am planning to disable or enable this particular workflow from just a single message from the teams. So let me show you how do I do it. So my keyword starts with the question. So it is disable the logic apps. Okay. And now this triggers my chat GPT, this one here, where it searches for the keyword here, and then it automatically creates it goes through all these steps and then checks for whether I have given a keyword as the disable. So based on that, it will identify what has to happen, because I have written a separate step to disable the logic app. So if you go here and refresh it, this would be disabled. Cool, isn't it? And you will also have a adaptive card via logic apps, which would give you upon success. So now let us take another example. Simple. I have kept it simple. So let me enable the same logic apps. So the process goes through the same step is being called, the same execution is being called. And if you go here, it will be enabled. So it is like a seamless integration. So just I wanted to go through, and if you go to this one here also, you will get a message, logic apps is successfully started. It's just an acknowledgement that it has done the work. I will come to the other part where we are bringing the chat GPT here, but before that I will just go through the steps what has been done here. So the trigger point starts with the channel. I have created a channel here, okay, and which searches for the keyword question. And this is the team I have specifically created for this demo purpose, okay. And this JSON card, this is a simple variable which says about the adaptive card JSON. This will be using it just to acknowledge. So we are getting a acknowledgement here, right? Logic apps. This is the one. So this is a template for it here. And a for each which scans through all our messages, and here it is checking whether you have a keyword for disable. And this is the logic to call to disable the logic apps. At the moment I have kept it as only one logic apps to disable it, but we can leverage it to disable the other logic apps as well. So at the moment I have kept it simple. I am not going to disable all the logic apps in my resource group. And the next one is, it is a reply with the adaptive card. So this is where we have used the adaptive card here, the template there. And the next one is also enable the logic apps, the same one. This is a Microsoft template, which I found it. I will explain my challenges in the later part of the demo. What are the challenges I have faced when I am doing this enable and disable the workflow? And the next one is, how do I use the chat GPT here?
Now, before we go there, right, before we get into the chat GPT, right, just a caveat, right? So this typical example, we've used three services trying to achieve a kind of a developer related scenario, right?
Yeah.
But typically you might get tomorrow a scenario where your sales team does the approval in an ERP, and they wanted to ensure that if there is a credit check or on a particular document, they need to explicitly approve or reject using Teams. So that is also one of the typical use cases which you see, right? So so the possibilities are tons, right? So you have different platforms which can combine together to solve a specific business or a user problem. So that's where these services from Microsoft help us, enabling us the solution and driving digital transformation across the organization.
And even we need to speak about the license cost, right? So whenever the user needs to approve, he doesn't need to log on to FNO. Just it is a license saving tips also, right, here in this case. Okay, now how the chat GPT is involved here, let me show you. So now the next hot topic here is Microsoft Fabric, right? So let me ask this question to Chat GPT. So this triggers the Chat GPT 1, and in few moments it will be giving us the output. So this is again triggered. As you see, it will be triggered, and here this would reply with a channel, reply with a message in this channel. So if you see, it has very well responded to whatever the question has been asked. So if I go back to...
So hey, have you used any kind of services for ChatGPT as part of your Logic app, or is it something which is a Logic app drives?
The Logic app itself has a connector to the Chat GPT, so that I have made use of it here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we are utilizing the potential of the Logic app,
Yes,
to bring in the ChatGPT connector,
yes,
as well.
true.
Very good.
Okay.
Does it also require any tweaking on the connector, or is it a ready-made kind of a connector which
you need to have a secure key, secure token, so that is based on each user. So at the moment I have created a token for me, and using that token I have access. It is like you will be having a account for yourself, right? Because this Chat GPT is under my account, so a token is necessary. So with that token I have connected to the Chat GPT here.
Okay, great.
And if you see what are all the challenges I have faced, since this one is accessed via Teams, I first created using the private channel, and there I had faced an issue where a private channel cannot be accessed from Logic Apps. So then if you are an admin, then you will be able to give a proper permission for it. But since I am not an admin privilege I have got, so what I have done, I have made my channel as a public one, and I have added the user to access this channel here.
A question here then. So when you say private channel restriction and a public channel, you were able to do it. Can you be a bit elaborative of what exactly you mean? Do you mean that the organization where the Teams is hosted, you don't have the proper privileges, yes, to create the private channel?
If you want to give access to a private channel, you should have the admin permission. But since I am using mine is not, my user doesn't have a admin permission here. So that is the reason. Just to go ahead to unblock myself, I have created a channel which is public, and I have added the users. It is not that everybody will be able to access my channel. It is like on the users whom I have added in this channel will be able to send the messages. So it is like that.
Okay.
And even if you see disabling the or enabling the logic flow also had the issue. It is mainly related to the service principle. And for example, it was unable to, because when I trigger here, the Logic Apps was unable to disable the other Logic Apps, though it is in the same resource group. Then I found out we need to have a service principle issue. Regarding this, I will be detailing the details in my blog. So keep my blog, keep seeing my blog, and I will update it today or tomorrow. And for some reason, even the nested Logic Apps is not available in my subscription. I am not sure. Maybe it is because of the trial subscription. So I had to call a separate HTTPS connector and then call the Logic Apps. Otherwise, if you had a privilege of using the nested Logic Apps, it would have saved one more step.
So what exactly, so when you say you had issues with the nested Logic app, was it more to do with the Azure subscription, because we are running on the free trial?
So. Yes, yeah. Because when I checked it, my other organizer, it depends. Maybe it is a free trial, right? So it might be a reason where we don't have the option of the nested Logic Apps. And then, so just to unblock myself, what I did, I just used a HTTP connector and called the other Logic Apps using the HTTP trigger. So that did my work.
So in short, so we are making use of best of both worlds.
Yes.
So we are utilizing on the one side the free services which Microsoft provides. Yeah. So typically we get the free credit from the Azure. So we've used that as the start point, and then we've taken 3 of the core services from Microsoft, right, and tried to interact with the automated workflow to see if we are able to get the desired results.
Yes. So just to repeat, so at the moment, I have only given a demo of enabling one Logic Apps with a one single message. So we can also tweak this Logic Apps, Logic Apps to disable the entire Logic Apps in the particular resource group. So even that is also possible. Just to keep the demo simple, I have only taken one Logic Apps in this case. And thanks for giving us the opportunity to present us what we have explored.
I hope our session was useful, and if there are any queries, please reach out to us. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Have a great day, everybody.